All right, how's everybody doing? So, finger all in the way. So, I want to talk about clairvoyance, being clairvoyant, having the gift of sight, the gift of insight, foresight. Um, what else? Being able to see things that are around people, that are in the room. Um, just having the eye, having that mind's eye, that third eye, um, and everybody's not clairvoyant, so everybody third eye will work differently. Now, when we talk about one of the things we can talk about when we talk about clairvoyant is the aura. So some people have clairvoyance that when they look at someone, they can see the colors around their body, okay, around their energy field, their aura, and you can take that information and you can be able to read off of it to see what's either wrong or what's most important on their mind at the time. Let me give you an example. Let's say if I see someone who has a green aura around their body, but the green is not bright. The green is dirty looking, it's murky, it just look a little dingy. And then I notice at the top of their headspace, they have black in the aura. Now, some people look at black and will automatically assume it means something bad or means something evil, and that's not always the case. It's not always the case. A lot of times it deals with pain, it deals with suffering, okay? Um, so if I looked at someone with that dirty green aura and that black around the head, right off the bat, I'm going to assume that this person is having some love problems, heart chakra, along with some depression, dealing with those problems. Or it could be some issues in the medical area, like in the reproductive area, right? That can affect the heart chakra, and because of that, that could be depressing them. So they'll give them black around the head, around the head space. They can have a brain injury. A brain injury will cause black around the top of the R. And so this video is not about R's, but I just want to give you some examples of one example of being clairvoyant, one of the gifts within that gift. Another gift is being able to see entities. So you have some people who can see good entities, they can see bad, and they can see both, just depending on the person. I can't see the good ones. I can feel them, but I can't see them. So my clairsentience comes in stronger when it comes to feeling the good entities around. Now, when it comes to the bad entities, I don't necessarily see their bodies or their shapes. I see them as just quick shadows, where some of my daughters can actually make them out. They can make out the whole figure. And I met a lot of other people who can do that too. So for me, if I'm doing a reading or if I'm doing some work and all of a sudden I see a shadow just run across the room, I know, okay, there's something bad in here. That's usually how my clairvoyance work, because I'm not as strong in clairvoyance as others are when it comes to entities. Now, the thing that you'll notice about entities when looking at them, some of the good ones, and I'm getting this based off my daughters who, they give me a lot of information, that there is no look to them that is specific to, I guess, what we're shown through TV, through movies, etc. They see them and they can just tell the ones that are good based off of their work, what they're doing, and then the ones who are bad, they can tell they're bad based on what they're doing. So she says sometimes the good ones are ugly. They're not this pretty white, angel that we're shown. She says sometimes they're just some ugly creatures that come in. They help you fight off some, the bad guys, and then they go away. So, I wish I could see what she see. Maybe one day I will, but right now I don't. But I use them as my eyes when we do work together. One thing about the bad entities, a lot of people who come to me for spiritual healing or spiritual services will say that, hey, somebody told me I had a dark figure around me. And usually, if someone told you that, that's probably the case, because you may have a curse on you and you have a dark figure attached to you that's carrying out the will of the curse, so they can see that entity. But again, just because you have the gift doesn't necessarily mean you know how to fix the problem. So then you have to make sure if you see something that is out of your league, you make sure you direct that person to someone who can take care of it. Don't try to fix something that you're not gifted with fixing. That makes sense. So when looking at entities, clairvoyance is definitely a gift. that can help those who can see entities work together with other people when they're trying to do investigations, when they're trying to, just see why a person is acting a certain way. Sometimes with kids, you have entities attached to them because they're vulnerable. And so someone who's clairvoyant can look at them and say, oh, that kid got two entities attached to them. Could have got it from another kid at school. And so that's one of the beauties of having that gift, if part of that gift is being able to see entities. Another thing some clairvoyants can see is portals. When we have our angels come to do stuff for us, or they go somewhere else, it's not like they just snap their fingers and they end up somewhere else. They travel through portals to get in and out of your home, in and out of, any other spaces. So you'll have portals for your angels, for your spirit guides who come in and talk to you, and then you have animal portals. So I know in my home we have two portals where angels come in and out, spirit guides come in and out, one in my room, one in my daughter's room, because those girls, they, of course, are gifted, so they get worked on all the time. Those angels come in and out directly in their room. And then in my room, it's in the corner by our altar. Okay. So the animal portals in our home, one is in my mother-in-law room, and then the other one is in the hall, in the stairway. And this particular knucklehead, this cat, he always lays right there too. He lays right there by that portal each time. And so I believe that's where he gets healing from, I'm guessing. He's really comfortable there. So you have portals that people who are clairvoyant will be able to see as well. And they'll be able to tell you in the home where it is. For me, because I can't see the portals, I have to use my dowsing rods, some copper rods that I use, and I hold them up, and you might have seen them in one of the other videos. And they move around and they show me where things are. So a lot of times I have to use my dowsing rods in place because I don't have the eyes to be able to see these portals or these entities. Now, when we do readings, right, let's say I'm doing a reading on someone, or I'm just talking to somebody, and they telling me about their life and, how things are going bad, and, the spirit guides will sometimes show you pictures in your mind. That's clairvoyance, being able to see. And all of a sudden you'll see an image of that person doing this or doing that, or they should be doing this, and you'll be like, hey, have you ever thought about, and they'll be like, you know what, how did you know that? It's because that's what the spirit guides do. They use your clairvoyance to input information into your mind to be able to see. Sometimes I look at them as being like tarot cards from the spirit guides. We can throw down tarot cards and read off of them, or we can read those cards that they place in our mind. And sometimes they come in like you'll see a picture, then you see the next picture, then you see the next picture, and they'll like just flip through the pictures. And then sometimes I'll say, okay, can you start over? Can you show me again? And then they'll show me the picture again, show me again. And then I'll put the story together to say, oh, this is what you need to be doing. Same way you would do with tarot, same way you're doing in the mind. But you're seeing that person versus looking at the cards and then trying to draw off the cards. So now, one thing that's a little tricky when it comes to seeing in the mind, seeing those pictures, is it my thoughts or is it what Spirit Guide is trying to show me? So sometimes you have to purposely, my wife calls it a glitch, where she purposely changes the vision of what she's being shown to make sure that that is indeed what she's being shown. So she said, you put in a glitch. So I did a reading one time where I was talking to a girl's father. He passed away, and she wanted to know if she had a message from him. And so I contacted him, and then I asked him if he had anything for his daughter. One of the images he showed me was a picture of her in a green dress as a teenager. And it was like a fancy dress. It was like maybe like on a prom or something like that. And I told her, but before I told her, what I did was I changed the color of the dress to blue purposely. And it went right back to green. So I knew, okay, this is him showing me this. This is not my own mind, my own imagination coming up with this. So then I told a young lady, your dad is showing me this, and she was so happy so that was my confirmation. Okay, then that was true. That was right. And so he had shown me her riding on a bike. He showed me some other, images of her, and basically saying, I was here with you the whole time as you went through this. I was not, gone, gone on the physical plane, but he was still there. So clairvoyance will also allow you, depending on your gifts, to also see that as well. Especially if you're a medium. If you're a medium, your clairvoyance will help you put those puzzles together for people that you're reading. So when they always say follow your first mind, follow the first thought that came in, or the first image you seen, the first vision, that's usually true. It usually works that way. I can tell now when I input my own thought into a reading, even if it's by accident. I can kind of tell I just did that, and spirit guide would tap me and kind of let me know, like, no, bro. So, that's pretty cool, and it happens. So, I hope that this helped you understand how clairvoyance work, how being clairvoyant is. Remember, everybody's not the same. Some people will be clairvoyant one way, some people will be clairvoyant another way. I got multiple daughters, including my wife, who's clairvoyant as well, and all of them see differently. None of them see the same things. They all see something different. One see orbs, one see entities, one see auras. My wife, she sees the pictures. She's very, very good at that. So we all see differently. I see shadow people. So we all have different ways of being clairvoyant. So don't get caught up if you find yourself feeling like maybe you're not because you don't see it like someone else does. That's okay. It happens. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. And I'll see y'all next time. Namaste. Ashe.